This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I try to be as objective as possible, okay? And while Screaming A. Smith at times can be somewhat entertaining, somewhat annoying also, and look, I'll be the first one to tell you, he knows his basketball, but I'll stop there. You know what I mean? I forgot more football than he'll ever know. I know that for a fact. And so when I hear him talk about other sports, it just loses all credibility. But I get it. They pay him a boatload of money, so they use him all over the place. And he's a character, and he'll say things that other people won't say. He's got some balls on that end that he'll do that. But, you know, and he'll have some bad, crazy takes in football or baseball or something.
Talk about players on teams that, they were actually traded last year.
Yeah, he doesn't follow football. It's just a joke. And he's been exposed a couple times like that. So, but the other day I gave him a lot of love because his explanation of LeBron and Michael was one of the best arguments I've ever heard why LeBron is not in Michael's class. And he's 1,000% right. He was talking about how Michael had that killer instinct right from the get-go, from North Carolina on, against the Celtics or the Pistons or whatever. It wasn't like he was folding the tent. And with LeBron, it didn't happen until Game 6 with the Celtics. Like that J.J. Barea moment would never happen to Michael Jordan, ever. Are you kidding me? Michael Jordan would have stepped on J.J. Barea's head and then dunked on his ass. Okay? So they're not even cut from the same cloth. It's not even close. Michael was a killer from day freaking one. Okay? LeBron had to learn how to be a killer. And it took him several years in the NBA to figure out how to be a killer. Michael Jordan was born a killer. And that in itself right there, you know, like when you see in that special that he goes to Boston Garden and they lose, but it's not Michael's fault why they lose because he lights them up and they can't do anything about it. It's just the rest of his team isn't good enough at that point.
Still a record in that one game.
No, yeah.
Playoff record.
And that Celtic team is one of the great teams of all time. Okay, may not be number one, but, bro, they are one of the greatest teams of all time. Okay? They are one of those freakish teams. And Michael was fearless no matter who it was. You couldn't say that about LeBron. And Michael would cut your heart out. And I would give Stephen A. Smith 1,000% credit. That was one of the best arguments I've ever heard. You know, in my mind, like a lot of people, Michael is in another level compared to LeBron. They're both great players in their own right, and they're both individual physical freaks and athletes and all that. And we know that the way LeBron, we've never seen an athlete that can move at his size like that. All that stuff we know is freakish, right? So I give people credit when they deserve it. Pat Riley came out the other day, had a press conference it was an interview with Eric Reed that then was put out there. And in one of those statements he made, he talked about the state of the team and where it's at, right? And this is what he said to Eric Reed. Play it.
I want to build a championship team. I don't have much patience, you know me, and I want to build another championship team, and we're close. Maybe we need another player. You know, maybe we need less. I don't know. Point is that we're right there, and we're a contender, and I'm proud of that.
Okay, so Pat Riley talks about him being a contender or that they're close. Maybe they need a player or two, or maybe they don't need any players, right? Paul Pierce was asked about this statement on The Jump with Rachel Nichols. Fire away, Bill.
I mean, if the Miami Heat are close, that means every team in the NBA is close. But
Paul Pierce.
I don't think they're close.
Wow.
Seriously, though. When you're close, let me tell you when you're close. You're close if you have a top 5 player playing on your team. That is the main ingredient. I said this, and I always say this, with the exclusion of the Detroit Pistons, who won in the early 2000s.
There you go. So, look, I'm not a Paul Pierce fan. You know, that crap he pulled with the wheelchair, all that stuff. He has some really bad takes about LeBron at times. He doesn't give really LeBron credit that is due sometimes. And I'm not, and personally, you know, I have my own issues with LeBron, but athletically, it's hard to take away anything from the guy. Now, I'll never say that he's better than Jordan. That one can never happen. But here's where I can't argue with Paul Pierce, and I have to argue with Pat Riley. The Heat are not close. The Heat are a really good team. They're going to go to the playoffs, but they're a second-level team in the playoffs. They are not part of the elite. And when I say elite means you actually have a shot at the title. And they don't have a shot at all at the title. They don't. He's 1,000% right. And look, lately, you know, Pat Riley made some bad decisions and had terrible vision with Hassan Whiteside and James Johnson and all of that. They've done an awesome job of bouncing back from all those terrible decisions, and they have found themselves some really good young guys, okay? Duncan Robinson has turned into one of the three best three-point shooters in the NBA. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Tyler Hero's growing into a young player that is fearless in moments, can shoot the hell out of the ball. Obviously, both players, Duncan and Tyler, still need a lot to improve on the defensive end. But, again, you got to love those picks. Kendrick Nunn has been a terrific find, and Bam Adebayo has developed into an all-star caliber player, and not an elite player, but an all-star player. And Jimmy Butler is an all-star player, not a superstar. And they don't have enough. Having said everything that I just said, they got a good team. They don't have a great team. We've seen great, and when you have Wade, Shaq, and even Alonzo, who was a great player, but after the kidney ailment, okay, you still knew there was a great player in that body and a great mind. Physically, he wasn't going to be able to hold up to play at a great level, but you knew he was going to have his moments, and sure enough, he did throughout that series, right? And UD was close to an all-star level player. He wasn't an all-star, but he was close to it and helped you out in defending Dirk and all of that. You don't have anybody like UD right now on that team. You don't have Wade on this team right now. You don't even have Shaq. You don't have a superstar. You don't have two superstars.
Do you agree with Paul Pierce's assessment that you need to have a top animal? You got to have a badass.
Yeah, you got to have a badass. Yep. Yes, I totally agree with it.
Go-to guy that, like, when the chips are down, he's the one that picks you up. He's the one that makes the shot. He makes the pass. He makes the rebound, whatever it is.
And that's not Jimmy Butler. It's not. It's not Jimmy Butler. You know? Hate to say it. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit, and I don't want to get to the extreme where it sounds like I'm slamming Pat Riley, because Pat is just being the ultimate optimist throughout all of this, and he's not going to be a realist at this point in time when you haven't even finished this season. He can't come out and say, well, you know, we've built a pretty good team, and these guys, you know, maybe they'll make a little noise in the playoffs. You know, he can't dismiss them to that extent because that's his team. But I hope deep down inside what he said publicly is not really what he believes, because it's not even accurate. It's not close. You're not close. And hell's to the you need a superstar. Okay? And I've been saying that since they acquired Jimmy Butler. I said this move means nothing unless you add a superstar next to Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy Butler is not a number one. He's been fantastic with Miami. He's been a great leader for them to help bring along the young guys. He is willing to take a back seat, all of those things to elevate others. He has been a he has been a superstar in the leadership category for these young players. That's the way I would phrase Jimmy. But his talent, his basketball level is not superstar. And so I hope Pat Riley doesn't believe what he's telling us. I hope he's just telling us publicly a PR type thing more than anything else. Right? Because there is no way in your right mind you actually think this team is close to a title. You keep this team together just the way it is, you will never win a title. You'll never get to a title game. You'll never be a title contender. This team will never get to that point. They have to add that other piece. Unless you tell me that Tyler Hero is going to become a superstar, or Duncan Robinson, or Kendrick Nunn. And I love all three, but I haven't seen superstar in those guys yet.
I was just about to say, what if these guys develop like Bam has? We see Bam developing if Hero and Nunn can continue and get where like Bam is.
Do you see superstar?
On his way.
Okay.
You know what, Hero? Hero?
Answer this question. When you watch John Morant, do you see superstar?
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. Just got out of college. That's all you need to know. That's it. When you watch him, boom.
There's no question. Like
you know,
the Hall of Fame question. There's no question. It's yes.
You look at him and
right.
You just say, okay, he's just green. He's just young right now, but holy crap.
This guy's got the it.
He's carrying a team. He's leading a team as a baby.
Already.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a superstar.
Hero does it on nights, but not every night.
And he's not going to carry a team either. He's not going to just,
And back in the day, you remember.
Like John Morant comes down, and everybody knows that you have to stop him to stop that team, because he's the guy that makes he's the straw that stirs the drink, to use a stupid cliche.
Back in the day, going way back, we used to say, does that guy show up every night? That's the difference between a superstar and an all-star.
You look at Zion and
look,
you see superstar. As long as he can stay healthy, but you look at him and you say, oh, that's a superstar player if he, continues to progress. Those kind of guys. You know what I mean? When you were watching Greek Freak develop, you were freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's there already.
Every night.
But a couple of years back when he wasn't at this point, you were looking at him going, it's just a matter of time.
You could see that he had something, but like we said, there was nights that he didn't have it, and that's where you become a superstar.
Right.
Mashburn, Jamal was a great player, but out of 5 games, he'd show up for 3. He'd show up for 3, maybe 4, but there'd be a game or two that, dude, the reason we lost was because Mash didn't bring his numbers.
He's an all-star. He's an all-star. He's
right.
not a superstar. Mash was never a superstar, but he got to all-star caliber. A lot of players get to all-star, but all-star is one thing. Superstar is completely something else. And Miami doesn't have one yet. Bam hasn't even turned that into that. He's an all-star. He's got to develop that outside shot to become the superstar.
When you get into those 7-game series and you're seeing each other and like gaming and stuff like we talked about, for a perfect example, Houston, the little trick thing that they're running with the small lineup, it works. But in a series, when you get with the one team, 5 game, they're gonna school you, man. Yep. They're gonna classroom you and forget about it. It ain't gonna work. But on a night in, you don't see it for 2 months. Well, you can sneak. You could play with them, gadget them. You know what I mean? Gadget play them.
Here's where Paul Pierce is 1,000% right, and Riley is just selling hope. Okay, love Riley, but you know me, man. I don't play that game. I'm brutally honest here. The Heat started 24-8. They're 17-16 since.